It is small, so small that even regions in many countries are larger in area. But it was once great, with an empire that stretched wider than the moon's reach. Historically, no great nation has expanded as much as it did. If you ask how large it was, 24% of the world's land was theirs. 60 countries had to do what they said, and 23% of the world's population bowed their heads and were ruled by it. Every single day, the sun rose somewhere on their land. From Nigeria to Australia, from Canada to India, from Jamaica to South Africa, the world's great nations adopted its language as their own, its flag as their symbol. A merchant ship setting sail from its territory of Hong Kong could travel 40,000 kilometers through the Suez Canal in Gibraltar or around Cape Town to the Caribbean islands without ever leaving its territorial waters. But that was then. Today, of the 35.5 million square kilometers it once commanded, only 242,000 remain. We have arrived in Great Britain, the United Kingdom. Wait, have you ever really understood this? It confuses many people. This lack of clarity annoys its citizens. Many are not happy when their country is called England. They might tell us, "Our country is Great Britain." Then when we say Great Britain, they correct it to the United Kingdom. And just when we think the United Kingdom is one country, at the World Cup, England, Scotland, and Wales all show up as separate teams and confuse us all over again. So, what is the definitive name of this country of many names? Its official registered name is the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. It is one of the longest country names in the world. In our documentary today, we will call it the UK. The UK, while a sovereign nation, is composed of 4 countries. It's like countries within a country. They are England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. The capital of England is London, Scotland's is Edinburgh, Wales's is Cardiff, and Northern Ireland's is Belfast. At this point, you might ask, if these 4 countries make up the UK, then what is Great Britain? Great Britain is the geographical name for the island that contains England, Scotland, and Wales. Northern Ireland is not part of Great Britain. Here's a point of interest. In sports like football and rugby, the home nations like England and Scotland compete separately, but in the Olympics, they compete together as a single entity, Team GB. Another question is why the country is known worldwide as England. In many countries, the United Kingdom is mistakenly called England. The reason for this common mistake is that England is the largest of the 4 founding nations in terms of land area and population. England accounts for roughly 84% of the UK's population, generates around 86% of its economy, and more than half of its landmass. The English capital, London, also serves as the capital of the UK. England's influence on the Union is so significant that the world often forgets the other constituent parts exist. But Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland each possess a strong and distinct cultural identity. The 1990s and early 2000s were a time when the British economy saw its highest growth in history, a time when workers earned fair wages and the cost of living was low, while the quality of life was high. The quality of life that UK citizens knew 20 years ago has now become a distant memory they reminisce about like an old story. Their country has become one where political leadership has been unstable amid economic and political challenges. In the 2 years between 2022 and 2024, the country had 4 different prime ministers. One of these leaders, Liz Truss, lasted only 49 days in power, the shortest tenure in the nation's history. Fast forward to 2025. The government faces a fragile economy. Public sector net debt is hovering around 98% of GDP. Growth is projected at a modest 1.3% for the year. To illustrate the scale of government spending, public borrowing in a single recent month, August 2024, was £11.8 billion. The country that once financed global trade now contends with significant national debt. Meanwhile, a brain drain of skilled professionals is a growing concern. Data from medical regulators shows a rising trend of UK-trained doctors moving abroad to countries like Canada, Australia, or the Gulf states. Internally, the nation faces deep divisions. A severe cost of living crisis has squeezed household budgets. Poverty rates have been rising, and crime remains a major public and political concern. It has become a country its citizens often complain about, and one that those with the means and opportunity sometimes choose to leave. It is a stark contrast to see a country that once projected power from London now struggling to control crime within that same city and protect the security of its citizens. A common political explanation is the pressure from immigration. Immigrants, in turn, might point to a complex history, asking, "Didn't our nation's troubles have roots in the colonial past?" Many immigrants come from former colonies like India, Pakistan, and Nigeria, while a significant number of immigrants also come from European countries like Poland. The overall issue of immigration has been a central political topic for many years. In 2016, they even came up with a solution called Brexit. They said, "By leaving the European Union, we will control our borders, curb immigration, take back control of our economy, and restore our national sovereignty." And so, they left the European Union. But the result has not been what was promised. According to the UK's own Office for Budget Responsibility, leaving the EU is expected to reduce long-run productivity by 4% and lower the country's trade intensity by 15% compared to if it had remained. The exit has made exporting UK-made products to European countries more expensive. Customs procedures have become more complex, and UK products face stiffer competition in Europe. Frustrated by new bureaucracy, many businesses have reconsidered their UK investments. As a result, the economy faces a persistent drag on growth. When they left the European Union, one of their main reasons was to reduce the number of immigrants pouring into the country. The result was the opposite of what many expected. While the number of workers coming from EU member countries decreased, the country saw a surge of immigration from non-EU nations. The number of people arriving in the UK after Brexit has risen significantly. In the year ending June 2023, for example, total long-term immigration was 1.2 million people. Immigrants make a substantial positive contribution to the country's economy. Studies have shown that a significant percentage of new businesses are started by immigrants, contributing billions to the economy. Immigrants employed in various professions contribute billions more in taxes annually. At the national level, immigrants are crucial to key sectors, making up a large percentage of professionals in technology, hospitality, and the healthcare system. Today, however, the UK is facing a skills crisis. Well-educated and experienced workers are leaving the country. In the National Health Service, for example, while overall applications from abroad are high, the system is struggling with retention and shortages of experienced professionals. In short, the UK is navigating a period of profound change. It has become a country where crimes that were once less common in a developed nation, like mobile phone snatching, car theft, and knife crime, are now persistent headlines. In London alone, it is estimated that phones worth tens of millions of pounds are stolen every year. The cost of living has skyrocketed. Managing rising expenses has become a daily struggle for many citizens. London, home to around 9 million people, is a global capital. It is one of the most ethnically diverse cities in the world, where over 300 languages are spoken. It is divided into two main parts: Greater London and the historic City of London. The City of London, covering just 2.9 square kilometers, is the ancient financial heart. It has its own administrative body, its own police force, and a Lord Mayor. This is the city originally founded by Roman soldiers about 2,000 years ago. Greater London covers the vast metropolitan area we generally call London. London is a wealthy city. Its economy is over £500 billion, or around $650 billion. If it were an independent country, its economy would rank among the top 25 largest in the world. But though the city is rich, that wealth is not evenly distributed. London, especially the City of London, is a premier global financial center. It accounts for over 40% of the world's foreign currency exchange. A majority of the world's top 500 companies have an office in London, It is also the main headquarters for 4 of the world's 6 largest law and professional services firms. Another source of the city's wealth is real estate. London's commercial and residential properties have become primary investment destinations for the world's elite. The price of property in prime London, whether for sale or rent, has historically trended upwards. To secure a part of this market, wealthy individuals from all over the world buy London real estate. However, many of these individuals buy property as an investment and do not live in it. This contributes to the number of underutilized homes in the city. In a city with a housing crisis, only about half of Londoners own their own home. In recent years, a significant percentage of the properties sold in prime central London were purchased by foreign investors. As a result, the city is becoming more segregated into rich and poor neighborhoods, and exclusive areas for billionaires are expanding. Most of the homes here belong to billionaires. Saudi Arabia's Prince Mohammed bin Salman, Brunei's Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah, and the former owner of Chelsea, Roman Abramovich, are just a few of the world's wealthy who have homes here and are known by name. Mayfair, Belgravia, Chelsea, St. John's Wood, and Hampstead are London neighborhoods with some of the highest property prices on the planet. Investors from America, China, the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and across Europe are major players in buying the city's buildings and houses. But don't think that it's only houses that global investors come to London to buy. If a buyer can be found, there is nothing in London that is not for sale. Let us tell you with data. The largest company that supplies water to 15 million of the country's citizens, including the City of London, and also manages the city's sewage, is called Thames Water. Who do you think owns it? The London City Council? You're mistaken. The owners of Thames Water are a consortium of international pension and sovereign wealth funds. Its largest shareholders are from Canada, the UK, the UAE, and China. These investors divide the profits from Thames Water and take them back to their respective nations, but because they have been widely criticized for failing to provide adequate investment and maintenance for the water supply, its sustainability is in jeopardy. The company needs an additional budget. To get that budget, it applies to regulators to increase its service prices. This has created a cost of living burden on consumers. We raise Thames Water as an example because it is the largest, but the next largest water supply companies in terms of customer numbers are also entirely owned by foreign entities. For instance, Yorkshire Water is the property of a consortium including investors from Hong Kong, Germany, and Singapore. Similarly, Southern Water is controlled by an Australian infrastructure fund, while Wessex Water is owned by a Malaysian corporation, and Northumbrian Water belongs to a Hong Kong-based conglomerate. And it doesn't end with water. There are 5 large companies that provide electricity services to the citizens of Britain. Of these companies, 3, or a majority of the country's power suppliers, are foreign firms. The French state-owned company EDF, the German-owned E.ON Next, and the Spanish-owned Scottish Power are all major foreign players in the UK market. Across the entire country, a majority of the companies that provide rail services are also under the control of foreign countries. The internationally famous London airports, though located in England, do not belong to England. For example, Heathrow Airport is owned by a consortium with investors from Spain, Qatar, and China. London City Airport is controlled by Canadian and Kuwaiti funds, and Gatwick Airport is majority owned by a French company in partnership with a U.S. investment fund. What is even more surprising is that some clinical services provided within NHS hospitals are outsourced to private companies, including American ones. The government pays these companies to treat its citizens. It's not just the government, citizens also pay an ever-increasing bill each year for every basic service they use in their own country. The rising bill boosts the country's economic output, giving the UK the reputation of having one of the world's largest economies. But for the citizens, only the name of wealth remains, not the riches themselves. The day after their country's growing economic activity is reported, the money leaves the country in the name of profit sharing. The foreign countries that share the profits use the money they gain to provide basic services to their own citizens at a reduced cost. And when they face a budget shortfall in their own country, They simply increase the service prices of their companies in the UK to boost their revenue, since it's a privatized market. Capitalism is like that. We are still in London, listing the city's sources of wealth. We mentioned finance and real estate, and now we've arrived at tourism. London is a city of tourists. From the roughly 20 million tourists who visit London each year, the city earns an income of over £20 billion. The Tower of London, Buckingham Palace, Westminster Abbey, Tower Bridge, and St. Paul's Cathedral are symbols of the city. If you want to tour London, the London double-decker buses are the top choice. Most of the buses are red, which is why some call them the Red Bus. There are around 9,000 of them. Although they are cheap and a preferable way to see London from above, they are criticized for their slow speed due to traffic congestion. The city also has an underground railway system. They call it the Tube. London was the first city in the world to build an underground railway. Londoners who saw the excavation disrupted the city with rumors, saying, "How can a train run underground? They are deceiving us. The digging is to open the gates of hell." However, construction was completed in 1863 and the line began service. To see this marvel, 30,000 people would visit the underground train station every day. The Thames is a 346-kilometer-long river that flows from west to east. It is the reason London was founded, and it cuts through the city, dividing it in two. Roughly two-thirds of the city's drinking water comes from the River Thames. It is also a key means of transport and recreation. When you come to London, knowing which airport your plane will land at is crucial for your subsequent travel, because London has 6 international airports. Apart from London City Airport, most are located outside the city center. Fortunately, since the city has an organized transport system, you won't have much trouble getting to your accommodation. If you suddenly encounter a problem and have to go to the hospital, in the UK, whether you are rich or poor, you have an equal right to access care. It is a country where you can receive any medically necessary service you want, from maternal delivery to major surgery, from a checkup to cancer treatment, and leave with a thank you without being asked for money. The cost is covered almost entirely by general taxation and national insurance contributions. The budget the government allocates for the health sector accounts for around 11% of the country's GDP. Their healthcare system is called the NHS. It serves virtually all of the country's residents. A small percentage of the population has private health insurance, which is typically used to supplement NHS care. In NHS hospitals, payment is only required for prescriptions in England and some dental and eye treatment. Although the NHS provides quality medical care for free, recently, especially after the UK left the European Union, it has been facing a shortage of professionals, and waiting for months in a queue to see a specialist has become common. The shortage of health professionals has led to over 100,000 job vacancies nationwide. Beyond its healthcare system, the UK is most praised internationally for its education sector. The quality of education at its universities ranks among the best in the world, second overall after the United States. It is also the second most popular country for international students, after the US. In recent years, around 700,000 international students entered the UK to pursue their university education annually. England is widely known for sports, especially football. The sports of tennis, cricket, and golf, which today move vast amounts of money and lead the global sports economy, were also created in the UK. The country is also ancient. One of the witnesses to its antiquity is called Stonehenge. It is located in southwest England. It was erected starting 3,000 years before the birth of Christ, meaning 5,000 years ago. But the questions of why, how, and by whom remain a mystery to this day. A recent study suggests that the stones came from different parts of Britain. It is known that the smaller blue stones were transported from Wales, while the giant sarsen stones came from a site in England. Although it is not clear by what miracle stones of this size were transported and what the purpose of setting them up here was, many studies are still being conducted on it today. We will end our tour here for today. Thank you for staying with us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.